If climate change affects every country, why is global agreement still so difficult? Why do climate summits produce ambitious pledges but limited enforcement? And why has environmental policy become a central issue in international relations rather than just domestic politics? Climate change has transformed global diplomacy because it challenges the very structure of sovereignty, power, and interdependence. Climate change is a collective action problem. Greenhouse gas emissions from one country affect the entire planet, yet no global government exists to enforce compliance. This creates a classic dilemma in an anarchic system. Each state benefits from global reduction efforts, but reducing emissions can impose domestic economic costs. Industrialized countries historically emitted the most carbon, while developing countries argue for the right to grow economically. These tensions surface repeatedly in negotiations under frameworks such as the Paris Agreement, where states voluntarily commit to national targets. Environmental politics also reshapes power dynamics. Countries that dominate renewable energy technology, electric vehicle production, and rare earth mineral supply chains gain strategic advantage. China's leadership in solar panel manufacturing and battery production illustrates how environmental transition intersects with geopolitical competition. The European Union uses regulatory influence to shape global environmental standards, effectively exporting its climate rules beyond its borders. Climate policy is no longer separate from economic and technological rivalry. Climate change also amplifies security concerns. Rising sea levels threaten coastal states. Extreme weather events destabilize fragile economies. Water scarcity intensifies regional tensions. For example, disputes over river management in parts of Africa and South Asia demonstrate how environmental stress intersects with political boundaries. The concept of human security expands traditional security thinking by emphasizing vulnerability to environmental risks rather than only military threats. Global environmental governance depends heavily on institutions and diplomacy. Conferences such as COP meetings provide negotiation platforms where states coordinate commitments. Financial mechanisms, including climate funds, aim to support developing countries in adaptation and mitigation efforts. However, enforcement relies largely on transparency and peer pressure rather than coercion. This reflects the broader limitations of global governance. In an anarchic system, cooperation is necessary, but compliance depends on political will. Climate change illustrates how non-traditional issues now shape international politics as profoundly as military competition. It forces states to balance sovereignty with global responsibility, economic growth with environmental sustainability, and competition with cooperation. Environmental politics demonstrates that global challenges increasingly transcend borders, demanding collective solutions despite structural constraints. And now that you understand how climate change reshapes diplomacy and power, the next step is to examine another transnational challenge: migration, refugees, and border politics in the modern international system.